12.
So let's say Netflix, they
Uh-huh.
raised their I use this example, you're probably gonna hear it over and over and over. You're probably gonna be like, this man. So let's say Netflix, they raise their subscription $1. What do you think the stock is gonna do?
It's
Anyone
gonna,
can answer.
I think the stock gonna go up.
Why? Why do you think?
Well, if their subscription is going up and people are still signing up for it, and they're not negating it, it's working out for the shareholders. They're making money.
So you're thinking as an investor. Some people think as a consumer.
Okay.
Hey, the price is going up. Oh, people are gonna start canceling. Yo, they're gonna start complaining. They're gonna be leaving it. No, people see $1 go up, they're still gonna pay it. They don't even have to add a new service. They don't got to change the app. It could all look the same. Hey, we're gonna raise our subscription $1. All right, they're gonna still use the service. Shit, they might even get some new subscribers from there.
Right.
Right. So from here we got to think like investors. So the news is going to be a key point. Upgrades, when a company gets upgraded or downgraded. I'm going to let you know from now. I hate puts. I don't trade puts. I only like calls.
Okay.
I only like good companies. So I
Okay.
know that the stock sooner or later they're going to go back up, right?
Uh-huh.
If it's
Right.
going down, sooner or later it's got to go back up. What
Right.
goes up must come down, and vice
That's right.
versa.
Right.
Right. So as long as you have that mindset of if it's a good company, it's got to go up. There's going to be trends that occur also. We had the AI boom. What is that? All these companies adding in AI. Nvidia up $10, $20 each day. Companies you never heard of that has AI at the end going up 20%, 30%. So we had that time where it was the main focus.
Right.
So we catch those trends.
Okay, so let me ask you this one.
Mm-hmm.
So like the upcoming IPO, they have, what is it? I know Klarna,
I think
they
on
filed.
Robinhood.
So Robinhood, not Robinhood, sorry, Klarna filed, and I don't know when it's going to become public, but there's this thing, you said AI, and they say CoreWeave. CoreWeave's supposed to, I guess, go public this week.
I seen that one. Yeah.
Would you play that?
So you know what's crazy? So with CoreWeave, the thing is when it comes to IPOs, they open with shares,
Oh, no
right?
options. Okay.
It's so there's a little bit of time before they add options. Sometimes,
Okay.
depending on whatever it is or companies, some of them don't have options, but most
Okay.
likely that company sooner or later will end up getting options. And also with an IPO, when you first buy in on an IPO, pre-IPO, you're not supposed to sell after a certain amount of time or something because you're getting a discounted price. You're getting early into the party.
Okay.
So they want you to hold on to those shares more so to be long term.
Okay.
All right. So if you're doing like penny stocks and you're buying a whole bunch of shares, I understand. But with options, I want something moving, some news back behind it, whatever it is. Like crypto, right? We seen Bitcoin, it moves, it flies up, goes down.
Right.
All the
NDX.
NDX,
SPX.
right? Perfect, right? So with MSTR, if I know Bitcoin is going up, I know
Right.
that
It's going to go up
MSTR,
too.
exactly.
Right.
So just trading based off of what is going on, just all around. What is trending? Go ahead.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm just excited that you talking about the things that I've been looking for. Everybody doesn't offer that. Some of them make you hold them, some of them, go 6 months out of the year, 6 months out. And it's just like, damn, I got bills to pay. Like I'm trying to see this 0 DTE shoot up from 20 cents to $2.05, some shit like that. You know what
So
I'm saying?
here's the thing, right? So yes, we all want that fast money in a sense. Just as quickly as you get it, you will spend it. In that mindset of just as quickly as you know, hey, damn, I just made $20,000 or $10,000 in a day. You're gonna have that mindset of I can do it again.
I know, I did it. I hit Tesla for about 1,200 and was like, shit. I made this before. Look, I made this before lunch. Like, yo, why am I getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be somewhere at 6 to take instruction from somebody when I can make my check in a couple hours, And then, like you say, you give it back. Again, like I said, I'm transparent right now. I don't talk much, and I'm talking to you now because I need help. Like I'm trying to figure this shit out. Like I profit 800. and my eyes be like, oh, let me find out what I can get into. And then as soon as I do that, it's like I lose it. I lose it.
So, question: let's say you had $1,000 in your portfolio, right? You don't got to tell me how much you have in there. Let's say you had 1,000 in your portfolio. How much in one trade would you spend on just that one trade? Just you find something, see it looks nice. You're like, oh, I like this setup. This is hitting all my checklists, all my entries. What would be the amount that you would spend? You think?
The most I would spend on a contract, if I had it, I would spend $600-700 on the contract if I had it. But
So
but because when you first get into the market and you see everything popping off, you want to get into everything. Being Before, if I'd have had 1,000 in my portfolio, I'd have probably had 15 different stocks, just buying one to see how I trade, not knowing then that the more that I buy is the more money that I make on it. And I need to focus on a couple of stocks, not stock hop.
so I like the fact that you did say you diversify, right? We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. We don't only want to trade one sector. So let's say if UPS and FedEx are moving, we're not only trading both UPS and FedEx. So we're trading maybe a bank stock, maybe an airline stock, maybe Tesla, maybe Apple, etc. Right? Now
Right.
you see how you said if you had 1,000, you would spend 600-700. Now let's say if that trade doesn't work out. If that trade doesn't work out, you're down 20% on that trade. Already, you're down more than $100 damn near on your whole entire portfolio just off of one trade.
Yep.
So now let's say you walk away or you got bad internet. Now the trade's down 50%. You spent 600, you're down $300 out of 1,000. You're down 30% on your entire portfolio off of one trade. Now let's bring it down. Let's say you spend 150 on a trade. 20% down, it doesn't work out. You cut your loss. 30%, you cut your loss. It's not as much as you losing 300 versus you losing, let's say, 30.
Right. You're right.
Right. So your portfolio will last long. It's going to be more of survival if trades aren't working out. Because the moment you try and shoot the gun, let me just try and almost full port and try and double it. Let me just get 100%. All I got to get is 100%, right?
Right.
That's it. I double my money. So instead, let's say you shoot for 30%, 40%, and you have multiple trades that I would recommend when you're first starting. Don't have multiple trades at once. Then you're getting overwhelmed. You don't remember why you jumped into the first trade. You don't know when you should be exiting the second trade. You're not really focused on what's going on the charts and the momentum on each stock. I recommend one or two. For me, I trade one or two stocks. Everyone can attest. I only do one or two, maybe 3 trades within a day. Why? It's much easier for me to find a higher probability trade versus me just shooting everything in the air and hoping something hit. Maybe one of these will get me 800 to make up for the loss on this, and this.
Yeah. Revenge trading.
Or you're looking at your portfolio, the whole portfolio, like, ooh, it's going up. But damn, what's making my portfolio go up? Or my portfolio is going down. What's even making it go down?
Right.
Right. So you got to kind of take a step back. And if you know what's going wrong, fix those things. Look and see the strategy that you need to work on it. All right, I know I'm almost spending most of my portfolio on one trade. I need to cut back.
Yeah.
Right. So I think I want to say it was you had said it. If you trade, let's say if I post a trade, right? And the strike price is $100.
Right.
Ooh, that's not in my budget right now. So let me go 105 or 110. I want you to understand something. When I'm choosing my contracts, I'm looking at the volume on the contract and I'm looking at the actual contract and the movement, how it's moving. Right? So let's say you choose something to 105 to 110. That contract may have almost no volume. It could be moving almost like a flat line. If you go to the actual, do you use Robinhood, Webull? What do you use?
Webull.
So on Webull, same thing, you can look at the option contract and how it's moving. Is it moving on a flat line where your money's literally just sitting there, you're waiting 5 minutes to finally see a move on your money? Or is the contract that's actually moving? It's up $1, down $2, up $3. So if you choose a contract that's further out because you see that it's cheaper, Cheaper isn't always going to be good, especially with our options contracts, because you're looking for a bigger move for the stock to do in order for you to start seeing profit. While you see me posting, I'm up 20%, I'm up 30%. You're like, yo, hold up. I think I'm up 2%. Oh, it's going down.
Mm-hmm.
It's breaking even now.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
That's
it's
what
up 5. Damn, I'm down 20%. How are you still up?
Yeah.
Because you're needing the stock to do a lot more of a bigger move in a short period of time versus
I saw that yesterday.
making sense. You're getting those aha moments.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
What up, everyone? What up? What up? What up?
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry for taking up y'all Zoom time. I just figured I'd take advantage before everybody got in, so I'll just shut up now.
Nah, you good. You good. Ask your questions still. What up, Courtney?
Hey, y'all.
How you doing? What up, Chappelle? What up, Ern? That boy finally made a Zoom. What up, 3 iPhones? iPhone number 60, JB's iPhone. Keep it P. What up, Kev? Kim? What up, Lala? Letitia? Maisha? Monroe? Violet? Pinto? Hey, that boy made it. What up, Solo? And hello, Tay. What up? How y'all been? Y'all good? Y'all can hear me? Tough crowd? Most of y'all are on chat. What up? What up? All right, so today's Zoom, we're going to be going over breakouts. We're going to be going over the 2 trades that we did take on Friday. So it was 2 Tesla trades. The first trade went 169%, and then the second one went, I think it was like 340, 350, but I clocked it at like 330, 330%. We're going to go over the entry, at least go on TradingView to see why we did enter the trade and see the actual movement throughout the day, why we held on for the trade for so long. Also, I couldn't hold it till that last thing actually was moving on the move. All right, so I'll go pull up Discord really quick. I recommend, if you're not familiar, kind of play around with it. I know it's a lot. My bad. But I'm trying to make sure as much information is available as possible for you guys, all in one place. So you don't got to go here, right? So we got staff plays. We have about, let's see. Yeah, I did post it good. All right, so I did the recap. I'm gonna start trying to be more consistent on the weekly recaps. I know I do them every once in a while, but at least so that you guys kind of get an idea on what went right, what went wrong, so you can go back and as well see what went right, went wrong. All right. So 9:32 a.m. is when we jumped in on Tesla. So right when market opened, 9:32, right here. And as soon as we jumped in, it was up 76%. So as soon as market opened and we jumped into the trade, it was up 76%. Now, for me, everyone trades different, right? For me, I prefer to trade on the 1 minute. So each candle that you see when we're trading live on Zoom, if I'm explaining something, I'm normally looking on the 1 minute if I'm looking for my entries on a trade. All right. There's not too much on my screen. And I try to keep it kind of as not as least cluttered as possible. At the bottom, I have my RSI, Relative Strength Index. It indicates overbought and oversold. And then towards the top, I have Ripster's EMA clouds, which is this blue cloud right here and the yellow cloud that shows at least uptrends. The green clouds as well would be, and these are EMAs, right? And then I have the green clouds and a volume profile. The volume profile, I'll show you. That green and red line right here is the point of control. So where you actually see where price broke out. So this is where the stock at the end of the day finally broke out. So throughout the day, around the point of control, it struggled to get past the point of control. right? We got to it here, came back down, got to it here again, stayed around that area, and finally broke out past the point of control, right? So indicators are just to simplify finding your entries and what's going on in the market. All right. So we'll go back to the very beginning, 9:30. So right before market open, it was like 9:28. Tesla was already on an uptrend. Nice, very nice uptrend. We got nice big green candles. I call these our big body green candles, right? We love these, right? For these candles right here, these are what give our contracts that nice jump. When you're looking at your contracts, you're like, ooh, it just jumped up like 20%, 30%, 50%. That's why you see the quick big jumps, especially early, right? So before market open, just looking off based on the RSI. The purple line, most of you guys already know. When the purple is below the yellow, we're looking for it to go above. This is a golden cross. So our first indicator before market even open was our golden cross right here, right? Now, prior to market, of course, the day before we had news, so market was moving crazy, right? So, and just also just in news in general, Elon's been moving crazy. He's more involved into the government, so we've been seeing a lot of selling going on. All right, so let me go ahead and pull up Tesla. So this is Apple helps. The reason I pulled up Apple also, it helps with knowing what's going on in the market as a whole. So let me show you the same thing that we're looking at. We got the same move that we got on Tesla as we got on Apple. So Friday was just overall a good market for the stocks to be able to gain. Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, if you look across the board, most of them at the end finally gave that nice breakout. We already got our golden cross circle right here, right? Same thing, purple below the yellow. Right before market open, we already started our uptrend. When market opened, remember, we got in at 9:32. So this candle right here, 9:30, it was probably most likely within this candle. So by the time I posted, it was 9:32. So when I jumped in, it was going as this candle was going up. So around probably here is when the actual contract was bought. And we seen the quick movement in the profits because it was continuing to go up still. And this is all within just 1 minute, one candle. So far making sense, everyone? Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Like a no voice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Actually, we did take SPX. We took 3 trades. That one, actually, I sold that one early, and SPX didn't end up going to 5,700 by close. So we actually did not hit on this one. I got to update the overall recap. So 2 out of 3, not bad. So by 9:33, let me make sure. Yeah, by 9:33, our Tesla calls were at 113%. Hold on, just wait for charts to come up. So by 9:33, we're at 113%. So this candle right here is our 9:33 candle. So this at 9:33 is what the stock was doing, right? So we were already in by 9:32, probably most likely 9:31, but we already were in the trade still as the stock was trading up. Most people, to be honest, you could be done after this, right? After this run up, you could have been done for the day. As soon as you started seeing the momentum slow down, so you saw the candles start to weaken. So we had big green candles at the beginning, these right here. You guys see my cursor, my little X?
Yeah, brother.
All right, perfect, right? So this big candle right here, our big body green candle, and then right after, again, we still have a big, nice candle. Still somewhat a big candle right after, but you notice that they're starting to get a little smaller. So the buyers are starting to lose control. They're still in control, but they're starting to lose control in their position. Now look what we see next. We see our two red candles, right? Now, anytime that we see a breakout, it's called a break and retest, right? So it broke out from right at market open, broke out, nice run. It started slowing down a little bit, so we started to see a pullback. What goes up must come down, right? What goes down must come up. Peak profit taking was being done. Just a little bit of profit taking, right? But it wasn't enough profit taking for it to sell off. So now we continue. Now you see these white lines that I have, right? We have one at 238.29. Now, once we broke past that 238.29, that would be our support, right? So if price touches that again, which it did right here, that would be our support. So we broke out past it. This is our support. Now, from here, we broke out and continued. This right here would have been our resistance, this white line right here. To confirm that it was continuing, right? We broke past and out over the resistance at 240 area. Someone asks what my target price was on Friday. I said about 245. Let's see where we ended up. I think it ended at like 248, around 247, right? So let's say you have a target, right? You have a backup just in case it doesn't work out, and you have a target on where you expect the stock to go to. It can go above and a little bit below. Don't forget that. So it can fall short. So that means if you're in a trade and it doesn't reach all the way to your target price, make sure you're paying close attention to the trade. All right. Now, from market open, we got our break, retest. Now, notice that we got to that area once again, right over here, right? After we got back to that area, we bounced once again. And you see these two lines, this is a trend, an uptrend. We got a nice trend from there. It stayed within this nice little range. It didn't break out of it until we got over here. So we're looking for, anytime that we're trading, to see if our trends continue. Don't go against the trend. The trend, somebody has said before, the trend is your friend, right? Don't go against the trend. As you trade more, you'll start to recognize and see things that are current. Here's another one. We have our downtrend that occurred. It stayed within that range as well, right? Let me try and fix this one. Same thing as well, right? We got a trend. My bad without these lines up to my iPad. We got a trend, right? Trend down, trend up. That's all we're focused on. Now, mind you, we see a trend occurring. We see a trend occurring. That doesn't mean we're going to catch it from here all the way to here at the very bottom with puts. And that doesn't mean we're going to catch it from here all the way to the very top with calls. Our goal is to get a piece of this. Or, for example, a piece of your trade, right? Be comfortable that you took profits. A perfect trade is a trade that you executed on, it played out, and you're able to take profits. A bad trade is you see profits and you let them go away, or you let it expire to $1. So for me, as I'm trading, the beginning goal is to make sure I can see profits. So whatever trade I make, whatever I'm jumping into, I can see profits. So my goal, it's never going to be 100%. If I throw a trade out, I'm not going to say, yo, every single trade is going to hit, right? My goal is 80%. So that means if 10 trades are put in, I'm shooting for at least 80%, 8 out of those 10 trades. To at least show profits or show green. From there, the only end goal is to making sure that I take profits. So once I see it, that's why we can see 100%, 200%, 300%. We have to have runners when we have multiple contracts. Throughout the day on Friday, as the price was going up, continuing to go up, I was selling contracts. Let me go back to hold up. If you're on Zoom, I was saying, hey, make sure you're taking some profits. Hey, make sure you're taking some profits. Right? I was scaling out. I had multiple contracts. We slowly start to sell some, take some profits, take some profits. We're up 130%, take some profits. We're up 140%, take some profits. Versus you have your whole position and then the stock reverses. Now you're looking at it like, dang, I could have just took it at 130%. I could have sold at 120%. But if you're letting it go up crazy and then just letting it die out, you're not going to survive. Even if you have 100,000, 200,000, $1 million in a portfolio, it's not going to survive in the market because you're going to continue to just feed the market, just giving it back money.
I got a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So scaling out means you have more than one contract and you're selling them when you say scale out.
Wait, say that very last part.
I'm sorry. When you say scale out of your position, you have multiple contracts in that position and you're selling them.
Correct. I think I had either 8 or 7 or 6 or 5. I know it was more than 5 contracts that I had. So as price is starting to increase, the moment that I hit 110%, let's say if I have 2 contracts, right? We'll just say that as an example. The moment I hit 110% on my trade, as long as I sell one, no matter what, I have made money.
Okay.
I have no more risk on the table. I have made money. That trade, I've made money. From there, what I call it, we say it in the group, we call them runners. From there, whatever happens with the runner, we don't want it to go to $1, of course, but we want it to continue to go up to see if we can continue to profit. That's how we can see it 100%, 200, 300% from those runners. As long as we've already taken some money off the table, taken some profits, whatever's left, we can't stress. We're not going to trade with emotions.
Copy that.
Right? Anybody got questions? Anyone got questions?
I asked a question in the Zoom chat.
Thank you.
But you're welcome.
Thanks. Let's see. Let me make sure I get everyone's. Was that your target based on how much Tesla moves on average or because of something else? What up, April? All right, so Tesla, I'm kind of used to it just trading on Tesla. I basically trade it every day. Everyone can attest, right? So I'm used to big moves. I'm used to looking at news and seeing, hey, it could be something that could potentially move it very nicely, right? So it's not going to be always on point when it comes to my price targets. It could go $5 more, $3 more, 20 cents more. So no matter who or what stock we're looking at, it's never going to be a perfect, hey, this is where it's going to get to. A lot of people have the idea of, hey, when we're shooting for targets, it's going to hit that exact number each time. I promise if we could do that, we would be billionaires, right? So it's more of what can the stock do within this day or within this time. For me, I know that Tesla can go up $20 in a day, $15 in a day. It's been on a downtrend for quite some time. When a stock is on a downtrend, like Tesla, for example, for so long, I know it's going to have bounces. We've caught them the past 3 Fridays, I believe. So, or at least each time that Tesla has had those nice bounces, we've caught those pretty early. When a stock is oversold, it's oversold. If I zoom out, let me, just based off of the movement that has occurred from our news prior. So let me show you the day before, or the 2 days before, excuse me. Right? Actually, I'll change to a 15-minute, sorry. All these lines are based off of the 1 minute also. So anything that you see a line here, here, that's me based off of the 1 minute while I'm trading. So while market's open, I'm looking to see where is price bouncing. So if you see a line and it hits like this multiple times over a few days, you see that's an area that is important, right? When it finally broke past that area. So we're looking at this top line, right? Look what that line was. Make sure, yeah, that was Friday, right? Look at the top of that line. We got right below it, right above it. It got right back to that price. And that was where it broke out. Go back, zoom out. Let me zoom out. So price struggled over here. I'll make a circle. Whoa. Price struggled right here. Price struggled right here. I could probably go back and see another where price struggled. So that at this point, it was a resistance. So the buyers and sellers, they respect that 240. When we finally got to that 240, look what happened. Niiko, why did you stay so long into the trade? We were in an area where price has respected it before. It struggled to get past before. If it didn't get in this 240 area and it dipped, I knew we would have probably sold off again. I'd have been sitting on my hands in the put pirate. Oh, anyone that trades puts, I call you guys put pirates. So the put pirates would have been having a field day, right? But we didn't. We stayed around that 240 area and then broke out. So normally when we get to that resistance, it will normally bounce, at least from experience. 245, let me go find that 245 also. Let me find it, because I know it was a previous day that it struggled around 245. Was it here? Right here. Let's see what this gives me. Here. 245 from back here is where it struggled to get below at first, bounce, got back to it, and then flush. So let's say if price is at 240, right? Which is what we got to. We bounced from that 240. Look to see where the stock has, what the stock has done the last time it got to that area or that price. So since we got our breakout at 240, right? Look to see where price has struggled to get past, get above or below. So over here in the top corner, right over here, price danced around it. We were just going over that, right? Look what happens over here. We got to that 245 over here, and then we bounce. This is on the 15-minute. That 245 was respected. Over here, that was the resistance. We got to the resistance, and then finally broke out from that resistance. Make sense?
Yes.
Did that answer the question?
Yes, it did.
Perfect. Anyone else got questions? Don't be afraid to ask. We all started at some point at doing the same thing. What are these lines, these charts? How do I find my trades? What contracts am I supposed to buy?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So, when it comes to like RSI and like being oversold and stuff, right? If a stock is like oversold and the RSI is like really high, does that matter if, say, you get like, say the RSI on Tesla's like
Wait,
super high?
you said if it's oversold but the RSI is high
I'm sorry, no, just if it's oversold.
and the RSI is low. So let's say
It's low, yes.
Okay, you about to confuse me.
I know. I think about it.
All right, go.
So if it's oversold and its RSI is low, but you get news, right? News that would keep that would keep it oversold or underbought or whatever, like whichever way it is. Does it being oversold or something for a longer period of time matter if you get news?
So think of it this way, right? So there is, let me try and find one because I know I'm gonna find one. Here is one, right? So you see this is on the 15-minute. All these candles are on the 15-minute. You see how the RSI on this 15-minute the entire time from 9:30 all the way until 1:15 p.m. it was signaling oversold. So below the 30, it's been super oversold, right?
Yeah.
But this wasn't just a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It was this entire period showing that it was oversold. Towards the end, it came out of that oversold position, right? Then we crossed and finally got that gap up. So that with it being oversold, when we say, hey, the stock is oversold, sooner or later it has to go back up. Hey, it's overbought, sooner or later it has to go down. So it's not necessarily, hey, I see it's oversold, I got to strike right here. It could be 2 hours before it gets out of that oversold area. From here,
But eventually it has to.
Go ahead, say it again.
But eventually it has to get out of that.
It has to. It has to. So this purple line right here that I always say, the RSI, this portion of the RSI, it's always going to touch this yellow line. So if the RSI is above, I know it must go below or touch this yellow line sooner or later. So if I go all the way to Tesla, let me go to that Friday then, actually, right? What did we get on the 15-minute? Now, mind you, I trade on the 1 minute and we were just looking at Tesla on the 1 minute. Look at the 15-minute. What is the RSI doing? What did we get right as soon as market opened?
At Golden Cross.
Right? A perfect golden cross. Now, signals, everyone that is trading, right? For signals, remember this, it's never going to be perfect. And they're laggers. Most of them are laggers. That means it's pointing out something that is already happening. So in this instance, we got the golden cross, but look right up here on that first candle, we were already going up. If we kind of zoom in on the 10-minute, the 5-minute, the 1 minute, we'll see closer and closer that by market open, we go to the 1 minute now. We were already just looking at this, right? Before market open is when we got our golden cross over here. But on the 15-minute, where did we get it? Over here, when market already opened. So if I waited 15 minutes, I would have missed this whole move. The golden cross was telling me, hey, it's going up right now. All right, so,
and you want, like, when that golden cross happens, if it's a real continuation, like you said last time, if it's a golden cross, but then those bars have long wicks on it, that might not be a real move, right?
Not necessarily. We got a long wick right here, first candle right away. So the wick is, in a sense, basically where the stock went to. So when you understand a candle, you understand what the wick is doing. So when we're looking at a green candle, we start at the bottom of the body. So this green that's shaded in is the body. So we start at the very bottom right here. Buyers and sellers are buying, it's going up and down, right? So if we're starting at the bottom right here, and also in the top corner of TradingView, it shows the open, the high, the low, and the close. So our open was 234.89, right? So that's when that, on this 1 minute, that's when the candle, that's when it started. So as it went by, as the minute goes by, it goes up, goes up, goes up, and went all the way to this top, which is the high, 238.30. By the time that that minute finally finished, this is where it closed. We go down, so that means it reached all the way up here. Within that minute, the stock went all the way up here. But when it closed, it reached all the way here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the wick is showing you where price did go. It went there. But when that candle finally closed, we got the top of our body right here at 236.50. So the wick is showing you what the stock has done. So if there will be times where you'll see a crazy big ass wick, you're like, oh, what was that? Price went there. Within that minute, 15 minute, whatever it is, price went there. So it's still important to know what the wick has done. Or if you have a wick, for me, like a big body green candle with no wick at the bottom. So that means the buyers were completely in control. They did not go below where it opened.
Got you.
Make sense?
Yep. So big wicks are fine, but big body candles are equally as important.
Yes, I want the big body. You'll literally hear me on Zoom saying, I want where's the big body green candle? And then if I'm looking at the RSI and I see a cross, there go our big body green candle.
So if you see a big body green candle, would that indicate to you that they're more committed to that move then?
The buyers are fully in control. But remember this, right? Just because so I was saying that our contracts see a quick jump in value when we get that big body green candle. So if I'm in calls, I love the big body green candle because I see a quick or big price movement in my contract. But just because I got a big body green candle, the next candle, that doesn't mean they can't sell it off. So this candle could be where we're selling. So remember, when we jumped in, we were in at 230 race. We were in on this candle, 231. So when we jumped in, contracts were up 76% right away. I don't know if you're on us when we're on Zoom, right? As soon as we jumped in, it was already up. I literally entered it, posted in the chat. I went right back to it. I was like, oh shit, we're up 76%, 80-some percent, 100-some percent.
Right.
Because we were in the trade as the candle was going up.
Got you.
Breakouts. So that was a beautiful breakout, to be honest. What goes up must come down. It's not going to just go up a straight line, right? It goes up, came down. This was our support right here, right? Once we broke here, new support, right? And then broke out, continued. Now let's say our second trade, right? Now, mind you, we stayed in this trade up until, let's see. It was 160. We were starting to scale out from like the 140s. The final one was, I think, 150 something then. So then we entered another one. That means I'm confident in Tesla for the day if I'm jumping in twice, right? Our second entry was at 1053. This one was pretty nice, I won't lie. 1053. So let's pull up 1053 really quickly. Perfect. All right. So 1053 was around here. So it'll probably been, let's look at the screenshot. Yeah, 1053. All right. So 1053 spent $100. So this is all the way right here. So remember that 240 we were talking about? I love that 240, right? So let me go ahead, right? So let's say if we saw right here, it struggled to get past that 240, right? We already sold off and it started an uptrend and struggled to get past that 240. Started going down, then proceeds to break the 240. That means we might have some action because remember I said that 240 is important. We jumped in at 253 right here as we bounce off that 240. Right away, I want to say we were up 8%, 17%, 24%, 1106, 1112. Let me see what time. Yeah, 1112. We were up 44%, right? So remember, I was saying just like this right here, we don't need to catch from very bottom all the way to the very top. If you're building your portfolio, you just got to get a piece. If we see the trend, right? I didn't jump in at the very beginning. I caught a piece of the trend, right? So don't expect, hey, it's reversing. Let me try and catch every reversal at the very bottom right before it starts. I promise you're going to get burned over and over and over. If you're trying to catch it, it's going down, going down. Oh, I'm trying to catch it at this very, very last one, and then it's going to reverse. Let me get some calls right here. If you try and keep shooting for that, you're going to keep getting burned because it could continue dipping and then dipping. So until you see a trend actually start, that's why I have these two lines right here. Until you see a trend actually start to form, can give you a reasoning to actually catch a piece of the trend. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yep.
Everyone knows?
Heard you.
Y'all still with me? I see we got a question. Perfect. Maisha, are you only going over previous days highs and lows and pre-market highs and lows? How far back are you making your support and resistance? Ooh. All right, so a lot of traders will, right now, this for me, I'll say this, right? I'm mostly a fundamental trader. I'll say it over and over. So that means I love news. Right now we have Trump. He'll tweet or he'll post something and the market moves and reacts to it, right? So let's say if I have a support and a resistance for the day, if it hits this price, if it hits this price, I got to be careful, right? But let's say Trump comes out of nowhere and some news comes out. He says, all right, we're going to go ahead and put tariffs on Africa now or everywhere else. Market's dumping. For me, I'm a believer of the news triumphs the technicals. What technicals are is you using previous moves to kind of predict what can potentially happen next. So news triumphs tech charts for me, right? So let's say if I have a previous point, it could be 2 days, 3 days before that price has reached. So remember, I'm looking for calls. I'm looking for upside. So let's say the stock is going up. It's on an uptrend. I would have to use another example, but we were using this area as an example, right? Once price finally broke out at 240, The 245 was my next target. The reason why, it has respected that 245 before, and that was the last price above where it is now. Right? So the last time it was above that 240, it reached to 249. I'm not going to go, hey, let me shoot for the 249, which it ended up going to 249, which is what we saw, right? Let me go all the way over here. It got to 249. I'll always try and go a little bit below that. We got our 245. I'm not shooting for the moon. I'm shooting for an area where price can reach it within a day. A $5 move, Tesla can do that. Makes sense? Did that kind of answer your question also, Maisha?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. I love news. You're gonna see me post news in the general news section all day long. News, right? Over and over. You'll see a lot of Tesla, of course, but you're gonna see news about everything. For me, I like Twitter, or now X. That's the quickest way to find news. That's the quickest way for you to find something that can potentially move a stock, especially if it's reported on multiple accounts. Like I see it in my feed, oh, Trump is doing this, Trump is doing this, Trump is doing this. I know it's more probable that it's true, right? So then I go and look at the charts. Let me see what's moving based off of that news. But you have to react quick. So that means I have to understand what the news says, digest it. Is it the stock's going up or down? Right? And then be able to react and take a trade from there. We've caught some crazy trades just based off of only news. TSM, only news. Eli Lilly, they do a new drug. Stock goes up because of news. Right? So I like to have a catalyst. Like to have a reason why the stock is going up, why it's going down. I don't want to only base it off of, all right, it's breaking support, breaking resistance. Why is it even going up? Why is it going down? Is it oversold, overbought? Is it the investors see it on sale? So it was going down so low, now it starts to go up. Was it something new that they added on? A new service, whatever it is. But I normally try to find a reason on why the stock is going up or down. We've seen lately a lot of downside, right? A lot of red days. Market just dumping. Just what is going on? Tariff news. Retaliation tariffs. Delays on tariffs. Oh, we're going to do April. Oh, we're going to do this, right? Reasons for the market to go down. So you can react based off of, all right, he's trying to add more tariffs here. That's a reason for the market to go down. You can react and make a trade based off of what the market is doing. That makes sense with the news portion? Yay, nay?
Yes, sir.
Solo, I know you always gonna say yes,
Yes.
Everyone else? All right, perfect. Any questions, guys? Anything anyone struggling with? I always use my iPad. I trade off my iPad.
I have
And
questions.
oh, go ahead.
I'm always struggling on when to get out.
When to get out? Are you being greedy or?
You know I am.
I know that, right? If you get, so how about this, right? Do you take like pictures of you when you're up? You take a screenshot and say, oh shit.
Nope.
Never?
Nope.
All right, so there's some that love to take a picture, and if you take a picture, there's a reason why. That means you know, hey, this is up. If you can send it to the group chat, you're like, yo, look, it's crazy. Sell it. Take your profits. Courtney,
And then
you know
when I
you
get out, it goes all the way up.
right. That's fine. Do you know how many times I've missed Tesla that keep going up? But did I make money though?
Don't look at it that way.
You have to though. Let's say you had $1 million, and over and over, you're like, damn, I missed out on 500 extra percent. Damn, I missed out on 500 extra percent. That means over and over, you're going to take a trade and try and shoot for that 500%. When you don't get that 500%, you're just going to let it go. You're not going to take the profits like how you saw up 100%, 200%. Then you're not going to trade even with any plan at all. You're going to be like, all right, we're just going to see if it goes back up. Then you're not trading in any plan whatsoever. You're not looking at no lines, no charts, and really looking at the charts. I'm not saying just looking at it and seeing red and green, like actually looking and seeing what's going on. Is it on an uptrend, downtrend, whatever it is,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
It'll help. It'll help, but just a lot of us will everyone will fall in love with the trade. We'll fall in love with the stock. Oh, it's green, it's green. Oh, it's going up. You're looking at the dollar amounts, it's going up. I know we want more. But let's say you take that trade that's up 30%. And then the next trade up 40%. Next trade up 30%. You lose a trade down 20%. Overall, you're still up. Versus, let me try and get 1,000% on each trade. And then you see red, 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 red. And you're like, one of these trades is going to make up for all the red trades.
Basically.
Yeah, I know. You guys are all like, yo, one of these trades are going to make up for all these losses. I'm just looking for that perfect one trade or that one hit. I seen this one person make 30 bands, one trade. Boom. I need one of those. Let me put in my $100 and try and do one of those. Right? Versus somebody feel me. Versus, hey, I got $200, $300 in my portfolio, $1,000 in my portfolio. Let me make $30. Let me make 50. Maybe that's 5% of my portfolio growing, but that 5% starts to increase. That 5%, that's $30, starts to increase. Oh, I'm making 20%. I'm making 5%. I'm making $40. Oh, I'm making 5%. I'm making $60. That 5% starts to increase. But the moment you try and go, hey, let me just double my port in one day, let me go for 100%. You could have just made 5% and gone about your day and looked for another trade that you were confident in the next day. Okay. Right? We want to have a reason why we're jumping into the trade. Is it support? Go ahead, say it again.
I'll go back to doing that because remember I used to always get out at 20%.
Yes, I know. You'd be like, Niiko, how are you at 300%? I took mine at 100. I'm like, about 4 or 5 or a few. Sold some at maybe like 40%, some at a 60, 70%, one at 100. And then that last one got to maybe 300%. But remember that, right? Having the multiples allows you to be able to stay in the trade a little longer, as long as you take some profit off the table. Then you can see it continue to run versus trying to risk that one contract, right? You're like, damn, if I sell it right now, I'm up, but it could go to 1,000%. So then I'm gonna be out of the trade, so I'm gonna miss it. So then you're like, damn, so I'll stay in the trade. Then the trade is going up, and you decide, you're still deciding if you should stay. Now it goes down. You're like, dang, should I stay in longer? Let me at least get my money back. Your money doesn't get back. All right, it's still going down. Maybe it'll go back up and I can at least break even, and you stay longer in the trade. You're convincing yourself to stay longer in the trade. You're not even looking at the charts. You're just convincing yourself to stay longer in the trade.
That happened to me this week and I lost like $300.
You said that happened to you?
Yeah, and I lost like $300 this week doing that.
Oh, see?
I think I'm gonna go back to my 20%.
Yes, please. You was doing good. The hell?
I know, but y'all kept laughing. So I was like, let me try to get
No,
more.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Where's your clue?
Earn will do 13% and be like, oh, all right, I'm out. Y'all boys have a nice day, ladies. All right. We'll be like, yo, bro, it's only like 2 minutes in. What do you mean? I know he don't hear. Every time, for real. He's like, I don't got time for this. I don't got time to be stressed. Looking at my phone every 2 seconds. You get his money and go.
But 13% of what though?
It don't matter as
It's a
long as it's
difference.
growing. No, a bank gives you how much? If you're getting 13% of the market and you can continue to find another trade.
Okay.
But Earn said 4 to 5K.
Okay, so now that makes sense. Now, if I'm on contract only $100, 13% is what, $13?
$13.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
be like, nah, that's nothing.
but that $13,
Can't
right?
do nothing for me.
But hold on. Let's say you do $13, right? And then the next that's Chipotle is crazy. It's bad. Yo, chill, Earn. All right, so let's say that $13 is 2%. And then that 2% starts to continue, right? That 13 is going to continue to grow. It's not going to just continue to be just $13. And it makes up for the losses. Instead of you seeing crazy big losses, the losses aren't going to be as bad.
Right. That's a good point.
If you out of the trade quick, you don't got to stress as much.
True.
Everybody else is like, oh, damn, shit's, I'm down 40%. I'm 30 minutes in. While you sold at 13% and kicking your feet on the chair.
Right. I need to start setting stop losses too.
Are you normally with your patients? No.
Say it again.
Are you normally with your patients, or are you free
What I
during
try
the
to
beginning?
do, yeah, I try to do it like leave a patient around like 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
And the next patient is probably like 30-35 minutes away.
After that, yeah. So you can at least catch that first 50 minute of, we know there's going to be action. Right? So it's all about what is moving. That's why I'll always at least try and say news. There's always going to be something moving. There's always going to be a stock. Even if all of the stock market is red, there's something green. There's something going up. It could be a company did a new weight loss drug. That's the one stock going up while everything else is dumping.
Niiko, I like red.
I know you love red. But as long as you at least have a consistent number, you choose, hey, I'm going to try to use this amount of my trades and cut it at 20%. I'll take my profits at 30%. Sometimes it's not always going to be 30%. You know that. It's based off of what movement, what kind of price action is occurring. What are the candles doing? What is the stock doing? How is the market moving? Is it on an uptrend as a whole? Is it choppy, or is it on a downtrend? That's why I always have SPY on my charts. On another phone, I'm looking at Bitcoin just to see what it's doing. Because if Bitcoin going down, that means most likely something market-wise overall is probably bringing the market down. Makes sense?
Makes sense. I'll try that Monday.
Any other questions? Anything y'all struggling with? Don't be afraid to ask questions. This is your money, right? You're going to be able to manage it accordingly. You want to treat your trading like a business, not a night at the casino. I know we all love Freaky Fridays, right? 0 DTE Fridays. We could turn $100 into $1,500 in less than 8 hours, right? But not every day is like that. You can't treat it like that. You're gonna have those trades that you have more confidence on, versus let me trade something that could go to $1 in 2 minutes, a minute. But you gotta have those trades that are you're more confident in. It's not the risky trade. You're like, dang, let me click this button and see what it does. Have a real reasoning on why it's going up, why it's going down, why you're jumping in. Choosing your strike price. I'm gonna go over that real quick, right? So let's say it was an example we chose earlier, right? If I jump into a trade and you choose a strike price that's higher, you got to make sure you look at the volume on the contract. Look at the contract to see how it's moving. This is still all while we're looking at the stock to make sure it's still on that uptrend, because the stock does not care that you're looking at volume to see if you can jump in. It's still going to keep going up or going down. If I didn't click that button to buy those Tesla calls first thing, would have missed out on a quick 76% right away.
Oh, I think I have a question there. That's what I was kind of about to ask. So how do I know like what you bought it in there? Because I don't think you really say that on your plays, right?
No, actually, so Friday, the first trade, I was having issues, and I normally will take a screenshot so that you can see exactly the time in the top corner on exactly what I'm jumping into. Earn says that if I don't post the screenshot, that means I spent a lot of money and I don't want y'all to know. But I'll normally try to at least put the price that I bought it in. I don't think I did it this Friday because it was quick.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was looking
It was
for
quick
it.
as shit. When I say that trade was quick, and I was trying to make sure that whoever was in didn't think I abandoned them.
I literally blinked and it was a green candle, bro.
No, bro.
Lou, I was like, hey, yo.
Bruh. So normally though, I'll show examples, just like I trade off of Weibo, Robinhood, so I'm at least familiar with most of them actually. So I'll post as soon as I jump in. You see that time, 10:48 a.m.
No.
I posted at 10. I posted at 10:48.
Oh yeah, I see 10:48.
Right, I posted at 10:48. So it's not like, hey, let me jump in, see how the trade's going. All right, y'all, follow, jump in. It's literally, yo, guys, I'm looking at Tesla. Price is looking good. All right, the RSI looks like it's crossing. Oh shit, guys, we're jumping in. I'm looking at this strike price, this contract. I like the volume. All right.
So can you explain that real quick? What that means? So it means you bought 6 contracts.
Mm-hmm. So DDOG, you're always going to see the ticker right before. You're going to see how much. So the strike. Are you familiar with the strike price? What is the strike price?
Where's the strike price? The 110.
Yeah.
Meaning that you're calling that it's going to go to 110.
Does it have to get to that 110 for me to make money?
No, depending on where you got in there. No.
Beautiful, perfect. As long as you know that concept, that's it, right? As long as you know, hey, I wanted to get to 110. That's my target price, but it does not have to get to that 110. So remember those big body green candles?
Mm-hmm.
Those are what help us to get closer to that contract price to increase.
Okay.
Right? We don't want little green candles that just gradually go up. I want the big body green candles over and over, back to back. Pause.
Okay.
So call, we expect it to go up. Expiration 3/21. For me, I normally trade weeklies. So that means if it's Monday, contract expires on Friday. If it's Tuesday, Friday. If it's Wednesday, and so forth. And then when it gets to Friday, I'm trading 0 DTEs. Thursdays, I'm trading contracts that expire the next day. So that means as the week goes by, I need to be more pristine on what I'm doing. I got to be more on point with what I'm doing, because the movement can help or hurt my contract. So as we get closer into the week, movements is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a quick move in the first 30 minutes. To be honest, my trade mostly you'll see within maybe like the first few minutes, first 10 minutes. I love that volatility for us to be able to catch the quick move up, especially if we catch it early. Like Tesla, right? We caught the party early. To be honest, I wish I'd have grabbed the calls that we had grabbed at 10 something. I was originally gonna just load up and just buy a whole bunch at the beginning, but I was like, just in case Trump say anything or do something, we would have been screwed. But it ended up working out still. That's why I jumped in and added another contract. The market was giving a nice setup.
Okay.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Any questions? Any questions? Don't be afraid to ask. Any questions? I can help you clarify something.
Oh, I have another question. I think you were saying that the only long one you were holding right now was like MSTR. I think
Yeah.
I was asking, was it too late to hop in that right now, or?
Let me see what it's at actually right now. I think so with MSTR, if you would have jumped in when I first jumped in, you would have been like, yo, this is crazy. So first day that we jumped in, within I want to say 20 minutes, it was 16%. The next day it was down 20%. The following day it was up 5%. And then let's see what I bought it. Hold on. It was a few days when it was up and down, right? For contracts like this, we're still looking at the more overall trend. So I'm expecting crypto to start pushing much higher. So I would say yes, you can still. Normally, I would say nah. When I jump in, that's when you would jump in. Don't wait no 5 minutes. Don't wait 10 minutes. But something that's more further, or at least a longer expiration, it's down 14% right now. So it'll be a better position for you to enter, but you could probably, if you're going to end up spending that same amount, you could get a lower strike since it's gone down a little bit.
Okay. And wait, where is the play at?
Right. I think it was from on the 17th. Let me find it. It should be right here. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any questions? Any questions? Don't be afraid to ask.
Yo.
Yo.
Yo, so with the Golden Cross, how do you know that it's going to be a drastic move in the actual candles or the cost of a contract? I've seen some Golden Crosses where it will only be like one green candle and a sea of red, just an example. So what's another indicator to go off of?
So remember, we don't want to only use one, right? We still want to base it off of what is actually happening on the charts. What are the candles actually doing? Right. So let's see. Let me try and find one where we got a golden cross and immediately got a death cross. What stock was it?
No specifics, just in general. I've seen that.
Was it this week or are you just saying in general?
Just in general.
Damn, I was about to pull up the example. Let's see. Here's one right here, right? This is actually a perfect example. Zoom in. All right, so you see this curve right here, right? Small little upside, few green candles.
Yeah.
Right. Now look at the RSI. Right before that, what did we get? A very small golden cross, right? Yes, it went above it, but we got a short-lived move up. What you have to focus on is mostly right here also. Right? What is price doing? What are the candles actually doing? Over here, buyers and sellers, they're pretty weak. So over here, the sellers are in control. Started kind of getting a little weaker. Sellers started getting a little weaker. Buyers stepped in a little, but they still lost, right? Over here. Then we continued to sell up. The RSI showed both that small upside that we got right here, and then we got a downside. Remember, it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. The indicators are never going to be perfect. So in this case, let's say if I saw, oh, it's about to get a golden cross, would you really jump in based on how this looks? We didn't get a golden cross like how we got over here. This one was, we go back to it right here. It's not too much of a golden cross. Or are you saying it looks like this right over here and it dips after? Jeff?
Yeah, more like that first option. That I feel like that first one would get me because we got the RSI that's low, and then you got the golden cross, but it's very short lived. It's like that 3 or 4 like candles,
Yeah, that
and
one.
then yeah, the other one, yeah.
So that's a perfect example. Yeah, let's say if it was price was falling, right? Market's going, you see it falling, you're like, oh shit, let me wait for it to go up. And then you start seeing these candles start to go, you're like, oh, 3 green candles? It's got to go up. And then it sold off. This isn't strong enough for us to jump in. This movement right here isn't going to be strong enough for it. This is us trying to be the first ones to be in the uptrend. Why not wait for the trend to actually start forming? Because right now, it's, if we kind of zoom out, it's showing that full downtrend right here. Hold on, let me move charts first.
So basically, right there is like where we got the clouds as a resistance too.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So
You
we
know
got
that.
no
Yes.
confirmation.
Perfect. Yes. So the clouds right here, right? We touch the clouds, still sold off. And let's see. 235. Look at 235 over here too. So look what happened. Let's say if you got shook out over here, look what was the resistance over here again. Because you could have waited. Let's say you saw this happen, right? You saw that it bounced here, sold off. You're watching all of this. The next time it gets around here, you need to see what price is going to do. Will it break out past that or fail? It failed here. The next time it got to it, that's where we failed once again and finally broke out. It loved that 240 or the 235 and 240 also too, right? Yeah, 240 up here. Not here, no.
So is there a specific amount of candles that you would say is a confirmation, like smooth sailing after a golden cross?
Not necessarily, because if you look at charts always, it could be 5 back-to-back green, it could be 3 back-to-back green, 2 back-to-back. So everyone's looking for a perfect formula. Yo, what 2 candles do I need to look for it to go up? What are the 5 candles? It's not going to be the same every single time. Price change. If I look at this whole candle, everything changes. It looks different. It moves up, it moves down. It's not going to be a perfect, all right, 5 candles go up, 2 candles that goes down. 6 candles that goes up, and then 2 that goes down, and then does that exact same thing over and over. News happens, things come out. What happens this year is going to be different for next year. That kind of makes sense. So don't try not to shoot for that perfect formula of, yo, what's the perfect formula to get in? When do I get in? There will be its confirmations like the RSI, the price action. Does it get to the support? Does it get to the resistance? Does it struggle to get past this price? Does it bounce off this price? This 231.95 line right here. We see that price got here, bounce, bounce, went up, bounce right back to it again, and then went up. It's just recognizing different patterns or areas that price that the buyers like to continue or the sellers continue to bring price to. Make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
It takes a lot of time, of course. It's not going to be a 1, 2, 1, 2. It's repetitively looking at charts, repetitively actually looking at the market when it's open to see what's going on. Getting used, that's why I say, hey, that's why everyone will say, grab 2 stocks, 1 stock, and get used to looking at it. So you know how it moves. Every stock has its own personality. They all move different. Yes, there's stocks in the same sector. There's cannabis stocks, there's bank stocks, there's EV cars. If the banks are going up, normally most of the banks are going up. If the tech stocks are going up, most of the tech stocks are going up. But they're not all moving the same amount of dollars. So it's just catching those trends that are occurring throughout the day. The market rotates into different sectors. Maybe the China stocks here because some news came out. Maybe the EV stocks are falling on the floor because some news came out, or they were overbought. Maybe it was tariff news. The whole market as a whole is going down. But there, of course, will be some stocks going up because they had some news benefiting them. Maybe it got upgraded. Maybe it got downgraded. So maybe it's been on such a downtrend, finally they start buying it up. It finally gets to a support. Repetition. Trading is going to be all about just repetition. Over and over, watching the charts, understanding where movement is going. Hold on. Understanding where movement is going, where the stock is going. It's never going to be 100% perfect. Don't try not. At the beginning, I was trying to shoot for 100%. Damn, let me try and get every single trade 100%. Yes, you will have winning streaks. Those are beautiful. But the moment you get a trade that doesn't work out, doesn't mean your strategy doesn't work. There could be plenty of factors that the trade didn't work out. So once you get to the point where, all right, every single time I'm trying to jump into a trade, I got this checklist, this, and this. I need my RSI to get a golden cross because I love calls. If a stock sold off a lot, I need it to go back up. So it's oversold. I'm waiting for the position or the timing for it to start that uptrend. I'm not going to sell when it's a falling knife. I'm not going to try and catch the uptrend when it's doing this. I'm not going to buy in while it's doing that. The put buyers will be in here just having a field day, but I'm going to wait until this slows down. You see these big red candles? Anytime that I'm trading, I'm waiting for these big red candles to slow down, right? Then I'm waiting for a trend to start. In this case, we got it sideways, right? Then we started to get that trend up. All right, trend started moving up. I got my contract, I'm good. Anybody getting that aha moment? I forgot y'all on the chat too. My bad. It's all about patience in the market. It's about being patient for your entries. It's about being patient for the exits on your trades. The moment you rush the market and try to make money, the moment you try to make a goal daily, oh, I want to make 300, oh, I want to make 200. You're not going to be focused on your trading plan and what's going on in the market. Your focus is on, damn, I need to make $200. Right? What if that trade only gives you $50. And that's all for the whole day. The trades I try and look for, the reason I look for news is because it can move a crazy amount, go up $10, $20, $30. Or the reason I'm looking for trending stocks. So that means the stocks that everyone's really focused on. You see a lot more news on MSTR, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Google, the China stocks. That's what's trending. That's what's moving. That's what has volume. If I buy it, I know I'm going to be able to sell it as long as I'm choosing the right contracts. There's many factors that you got to make sure when you're in a trade that it's working out. What is the stock doing? Is there any news coming up? Is there any certain times coming up? 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2:30. Any events coming up? Anyone speaking? You got to know all of these to be able to really actually make money in the market and to continue to make money. So yes, understanding charting is important. So combining the fundamentals, the news that comes out. Right now we're in a market where news changes like a heartbeat. You blink, the market's dumping or flying up. So knowing news when it's being reported, what it means, how to digest it quickly and understand it and be able to react. So if you're in a trade, you can understand, oh, he just mentioned tariffs. All right, my trade might not work out now. I can cut my trade versus I see red, maybe it'll reverse, it'll go up. Nah, they just mentioned tariffs. That the market is going down. So it's not just looking only at the charts to understand what the stocks are doing, understanding what news is. ChatGPT, y'all got that? It makes it a lot easier. Copy and paste whatever the news is, put it in there. All right, what does this mean? How will it affect the market? How will it affect the stock? Boom, you got a quick answer. Now do this over and over so that the more that you see news, it's easier for you to understand. All right, just like my first example, if Netflix raises their subscription $1, boom, I see that news right away, it comes out. The stock gonna fly up $20 in like 2 minutes, probably a minute. It's happened. But you gotta know how to be able to react. If you didn't see the news and you were just looking at charts, you wouldn't see necessarily why it went up. So having a reason why it went up or down is going to be a tool to help you to be able to actually make your own trades, make profit in the market, cut losses, make sure you're not in a trade for too long. News only lasts for so long. A report comes out, it's only going to last for so long. Normally what happens with big reports like CPI, PPI, FOMC, for the first like 15 to 30 minutes, the market's a little confused. So you see a lot of up, a lot of down in a short period of time. Then you start to see a trend. Right? We had news, what was it, on Wednesday, Thursday? Market kind of went down a little bit and then went up. After that, it just kept going up. When you see the market is on a nice uptrend or a nice downtrend for a few days, That's crazy.
We can hear you now.
That
I'm
boy had
sick.
the mute on.
Bro, I'm so sick because I was preaching, my man. When I say I was preaching, boy, I'm sick.
That man was talking about puts.
Dog, what did y'all last hear? I was talking for 5 straight minutes. Y'all even remember what I left off?
Bro, it's been so long, bro. I can't even remember.
Yo, let me make sure this iPad don't die on me. Oh my Lord, boy. Any questions? Because boy. Y'all can hear me?
Yep.
See, this is why I just be rambling and y'all I don't be knowing. At least somebody on voice be like, we still here. It's like, yeah. Somebody leave their phone off mute. So I can hear a background or something. April started watching TV. Yo. Did you? Shit. My sister didn't even hear me. All right. Let me try and backtrack 5 minutes ago of what I was saying. Make sure you're taking profits always. Understand why you're getting in a trade. Have more than one reason why. A catalyst helps more than anything. Greed will kill a portfolio. Over and over and over, you'll just be feeding the market. Let's see. Anything specific y'all want me to go over? Hey. So far, we went over the RSI. For me, I only like really the RSI and Ripster's EMA clouds. I try not to have too much on my charts when it comes to indicators. Even though it says 6, I'm really only using 3, not even. The volume profile, there's 2 there. It's only 1. That video's in the video section.
Niiko, we can't see your chart.
Oh, blood clot. See, so done threw me off. Everything else is working too. I'm sick. All right, now y'all good? April still got jokes. I was talking about life and everything. All right, so my indicators, I only keep really the bottom RSI to show overbought, oversold, to see those uptrends, those downtrends, even including on the RSI. So I'm looking at the uptrends and the downtrends as well. Ripster's EMA clouds, I'm going to make everything invisible except the clouds. The blue right there, the green, and the red. The red shows or signifies our downtrend. The green, of course, shows or signifies our uptrend. The cloud, helps determine uptrend, upside. So in this case right here, we are right here. Start out small cloud, starts to increase in size, and we're still continuing. Over here, it doesn't turn red. Let me show you. The cloud itself doesn't turn red, or it doesn't turn yellow. So let me continue. It continues, right? We still got our uptrend. Cloud still small, short, right here, yellow. But we still are on an uptrend. It bounced off of the clouds right here. And we had an uptrend since. Nice gap between the actual candles and the clouds right here. Price starts to weaken. So we get our consolidation over here, right? Still above clouds. This is just signifying uptrends. Any indicator, no matter what, if I explain it, you still got to get used to seeing it and how it works. So yes, I can explain how I at least see it. But when you're looking at it and market is open, you yourself have to still get used to seeing it over and over how it reacts to that indicator, whatever indicator it is. Right? So then now we start to get our downtrend. Honestly, let's say if I would have tried to jump into the straight and we were on the 1 minute, I would have tried to get in above. It wouldn't have been down here when the trend was already starting. So it's not going to be out just because it's the first 1 or 2 candles. I want to see the actual trend start to form. We would have caught at least the last hour, for the last, I think it was like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. That's just Ripster's EMA clouds. So a combination of using Ripster's clouds, the RSI. So as long as you're familiar with the golden cross, remember we can use a combination with the golden cross and the clouds as well. All right, next up, volume profile. It's hard to show the example when market is closed. So if someone can remind me, I'll explain it while the market is open to show the actual clouds. But let me switch it to a 15-minute to see if they come up. They might not come up. Yeah. Oh, wait, maybe. Try. Somewhat there. All right, so there they are. How do you use the volume profile? It actually looks pretty bad. Let me see. Yeah, it looks way better when market is open. I can somewhat see it on this 2 hour. So I'll point it out. All right, so we'll pretend like this is sideways, right? So we'll pretend like this gray area is down here. And this top point, this is the tops. So these are the highest points of this gray area. Everyone can hear me?
Yep.
Now, how to use this indicator, right? The highest points are points where price will normally continue to go to or consolidate. So what do I mean? This would be a considered top for that volume profile, right? This area. Price continued to stay in that area more than once. Over here, even when it got to this point right here, it got all the way to the highest point, and so on and so forth, right? So that each time that we were at a point where we see a lot of the gray area, there are points where price may reverse, or it's consolidating. It stays in that area, repeatedly goes in that area. So the thicker areas is where you see price consolidating. The areas where you see space is normally where you'll see a nice push, a nice breakout. So here we broke out, here we're breaking out, over here we're breaking out, over here we're breaking out. We're not consolidating in this area, which is the low points of the clouds. These are areas where we're breaking out or breaking down. Price doesn't like to hang around in these areas. On the highest points, price loves to hang around in these areas, like up here, right? So let me circle it. High point. This whole area is a high point, high point, high point, right? So now, where does it correlate? Over here, right? Where does this correlate? Right here. Continue. It touched right here. That's where it bounced. Right? So this is areas where price loves to be. It'll continue to go to these areas. So when we're trading live, it's a lot easier to actually see it more. There'll be much more grayer and much more bolder. So you can see where area is most likely going to consolidate or potentially reverse. And you can also see the areas where price will most likely be breaking out or breaking down. Those are going to be the lower portions of the volume profile. Does that make sense, guys? Do I need to explain it differently? Let me know. Don't tell me it froze. Do I see yet? Does it make sense, everyone? Y'all good? Y'all still with me? Y'all still awake?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. Any questions, guys? With trading, you're always going to be a student. Myself, I'm still trying to learn as much every day as possible, because you're always going to find new strategies, new techniques, new ways to view the market, to really simplify how you look at the market, how you find trades, how you find opportunities, right? So it's more of as much work as you put in to be able to see the results. If you half-ass trying to learn trading and half-ass actually when you are trading, you're going to see it in the money in your trades too. You really got to be disciplined on your trading plan and what you do. The moment that you see it doesn't work out because of your trading plan doesn't mean, yo, this trading plan or setup is horrible. If you're 8 out of 10, you're good. 7 out of 10, you're good. Now it's just making sure you can take the profits when you see them. If you're struggling with taking profits when you see it, cut at 20, 30%. Understand when price continues to go up, that you still made money, you still profited, you're compounded. There will be a point where you have a certain amount that you'll spend a day, a certain amount you'll spend on an earnings trade, a certain amount that you'll spend throughout each period, versus trying to put the full pour, etc. But you got to build up the portfolio in order for you to have risk money, right? I can try and risk on this trade because of potentially more risk, more potential for more money, right? But if you're risking the money that you need to consistently grow, there'll be no point. Then you're just going to keep having to feed more money into the market. putting more money into your portfolio over and over and over. Be disciplined, repetition. I can almost do the same kind of setup every single week, 1 to 2 trades in the morning. Within the first 50 minutes, I'm looking for momentum. If the market's dying and I put in a call, I'm not trying to put in a whole bunch of more trades just to try and make up for the first one. All right, I'm sitting relaxing and I'm letting the put pirates have fun. I'm not going to go against what I'm used to, right? That works. If I can give 2 out of 3 trades that are green, up 100+% on each, why change what's working? So your goal is to find what works. Some of us work during the market. For me, I'm looking at my iPad all day from 9:30 to 4 almost. So it's easier for me to find a new opportunity, find a new move, do some research, look and see what's here, what's trending. Some people kind of take a peek at the market. Before they take a peek, maybe they didn't look to see, hey, was it trending down? Was it trending up? So if you're busy during the market, you don't rush to make a trade. You kind of see what the market is giving, what's going on in the charts, what is price giving. Was there some news that went out? Why is the whole market down? Why is everything flying up? There's maybe some news came out at 10 o'clock. You got in at 10:15, 10:20. All right, we got some good news on CPI. Boom, market's going up. Now you know you're already familiar with what stocks you can trade because this came out. All right, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Google, all trending. Let's say all of the US stocks are down, right? Tesla, Apple, Google, Microsoft. The group knows I'm looking at the China stocks. I'm looking at Alibaba. I'm looking at JD.com, Baidu, PDD. Because if it's affecting the US stocks, doesn't mean that it's affecting Alibaba or the other sectors in other countries. So you got to be able to know, hey, not everything in the market, some news may not affect this stock. So if the entire market's red, I can find something that's going the opposite direction. Get used to looking at news, download X, Twitter, all the accounts that we post in the general news, follow them. So now when the news comes up, have your alerts on. All right, you can react. For me, I follow a whole bunch of them so that if I see the news more than once, I see the same thing twice back to back. All right, I need to go look at that stuff to see what's going on. I see 3, 4, 5. There'll be time where I see like 5 of the same thing back to back. Oh, yep, CPI. There we go. Or PPI, FOMC. Makes sense, guys? Y'all still with me? You're perfect. I'm gonna end it here unless you guys have any questions. Of course, weekends are for studying, right? So even if we don't have Zoom, watch YouTube videos. Don't just watch the 5-minute or the shorts. Watch those 1-hour videos or 2-hour videos. For me, it's repetition. I'll keep saying it again. If you want to get a 6-pack, repetition. You do something over and over, it becomes a norm. It becomes easy. Right? So there's certain videos I've watched 30 times, 40, 50 times. There's this one video I'll send to everyone. I watched it for 4 years over and over. Every time I send it to someone, I normally end up watching it a little bit too. In the video section, yes, there's videos that I've recommended. There's one on price action, There's a channel called Skyview Trading. One of their first videos is perfect to keep watching over and over. It keeps reminding you of the basics of options and how an option it works, how it's calculated. Next week, what I'll end up doing is I'll go over how an option moves, how to understand the actual option contract. So if your money's in it, you understand why it's going up, why it's going down, right? We want to know how to get into a trade, how to make money. We want to know when the contract is moving, what is it doing? What we need to do as it gets closer to the expiration. How to actually manage the trade, not just get in the trade and that's it. But y'all have a wonderful and blessed night. If y'all can go ahead, if you have a second, go ahead and leave a nice little review. How did I do today? But y'all have a wonderful night.
You too.
Bless.